As we sat in the new town square in Bray last Saturday afternoon, a strange scene unfolded in front of us. A tent, in the shape of a dome, had been erected in the centre of the square, and as we watched, a group of 5 actors approached it. Diffidently, they explored the mundane everyday objects that hung from the dome, clothes pegs, plastic bags, and the like. Little by little, they felt their way around the dome until 2 of them seemed to find a door. They opened it and beckoned to us, the audience, to come in. This was the beginning of Cloud House, described on the flyer that accompanied it as a walkabout theatre experience. Cloud House is a production of the Shadowbox Theatre company, a tiny group of people who deserve huge support but get very little. Inside the dome, the actors created a world unlike any that most of us had experienced. Inanimate objects became friends, to be stroked and caressed. People reached out to each other in pain, but were unable to make a connection. A tiny doll became the baby that some of the women yearned for but wouldn't have. A huge globe, made of paper and rags, became the world they could never own. Instead, the world the actors lived in was a wasteland, bare and brown and ugly. But all the time, the actors moved through this world with grace and discipline. No words were used, just dance and mime and movement. A hypnotic soundtrack accompanied every scene, and facial expressions conveyed the depth of the emotional charge implicit in the unfolding story. It sounds bleak, but it wasn't. It was spellbinding. Moments of pathos, even despair, followed by playfulness. 1 minute you might have been watching Waiting for Godot, the next, The 3 Witches from Macbeth. Their brilliant director, Gemma Gallagher, had devised a play about rejection and isolation, but the actors she worked with, during 6 weeks of hard work and preparation, had all added their own story. Every scene they enacted over the 40 minutes or so of the production conveyed a personal experience. As the actors grew into the play became their life story. These actors, it became clear, understood very well what isolation means. They know what it's like to be outsiders, to be alone, and to feel alone. As the audience watched, we could all see that. In fact, maybe we began to understand isolation in a way we never had before. It's really tough doing a performance about a subject so difficult in a small and crowded tent with an audience that is slowly being drawn in. It requires concentration and effort on the part of the actors, who are faultless in the way they responded to the music and passionate in the way they told their story. Still, watching the play develop, it was impossible not to feel their sadness. The story of rejection may be a common one among Irish citizens who live on the margins, but watching it being enacted by such talented actors is hard. The audience, you could see, was moved, and some were almost angry. So it was important, as well as being a great relief, that the actors decided to end this play with an exuberant dance. As the Tom Waits song Let It Rain pounded around the Bray Civic Plaza, the actors rocked their way out of the tent, followed by an audience that was clapping and cheering. It really is amazing that a small, underfunded theatre company can produce work like that. In 40 minutes, you felt you gained an insight into the human condition, without a word being spoken, but also without a step out of place. The rehearsals, the preparation, and the whole troupe's passion for their work paid off. There were 2 performances last Saturday. Admission was free, but places were limited because we all had to fit into the dome. Shadowbox is going to do more performances on the Esplanade in Bray on August the 28th. You really need to go and see them at work. You'll be thrilled that you did. And I'll bet you anything that you'll watch those 5 actors work as a team and completely forget the one other thing they have in common, the one thing that really makes them understand rejection and communicate it so well. The fact that each of them, combined with the talent and the work, has an intellectual disability.